I have been gone for a while, but it's okay. I have a good one for y'all today. We're coming back and continuing in our manufacturing series. Last video, we talked about how to find a manufacturer, and today we're going to be talking about what to do after that. Now, if you haven't watched the first video on how to find a manufacturer, go watch that first, all the way through, then come back and watch this video so you can see what to do next. And for anybody new, my name is Nick and I've been in the clothing industry, give or take 5-6 years, worked for other people's brands and owned a brand myself. Now that that's out the way, let's get into it. So you found your manufacturer, everything is looking great. Maybe you talked to them already, and now it's time to move on to the next step. You want to test their services and you want to do that with a sample. Quick note, please, for the love of everything on earth, do not order a bulk amount of clothes without sampling with them first. You may come across some manufacturers who will not let you sample order. Personally, I just would not work with them. I have to go find somebody else. You'll find some people that say, oh, place the bulk order and the sample price is included, and hey, that's a whole nother topic, and I'm gonna go into that one too in another video. But right now we're talking about getting that sample. So if you're getting a sample, I'm gonna assume you already have a design or some sort of garment that you wanna make. Now the tricky part comes to communicating that idea, that design to the manufacturer for them to make it correctly. You've seen this manufacturer, you've seen their work, so you're pretty sure they can do it, right? But having the capability does not always mean that the execution is going to come out correct. So that's what we're talking about today in this video. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is that it's always a good practice to talk to the manufacturer and ask them, hey, what do you need from me to get started on this sampling process? I kind of do this to look for red flags. If I ask the manufacturer, hey, what do you need from me? And they say, just send over a sketch. That's not enough information. I promise you, if you just send a sketch, they are going to mess whatever that thing is up and you're going to waste some money. So instead of going down that path, we're going to talk about the things that you need to communicate your idea and design effectively. So there's 4 points that we want to hit on. The first is going to be measurements. Number 2, we need our materials or bill of materials. Number 3 is going to be our mock-up / CAD / fashion sketches. And number 4 is going to be photo references. Very important. So the honorary 5th thing is going to be the tech pack. The tech pack is your presentation of the first 4 points, all wrapped up in something nice, easily readable, and understandable. So let's go ahead and expound on some of this, starting with number 1, which was the measurements. The measurements is what dictates the shape and the fit of the garment, and that's pretty much everything. Now, ideally, if you don't have the knowledge about fit, measurements, pattern grading, all of that stuff, it would be best to probably work with a local tailor, pattern maker, fashion designer around you. That way you can actually sit with them and be able to explain those details, and they'll translate it into measurements, numbers, everything that makes sense to the manufacturer. And then you could take that, take it to them, and they'll understand how to work with it. If you don't have a professional that you can go to help you with the measurements, I say just work off of a reference garment and just literally go all over it with some measuring tape. If it's pants, you get the length, you get the leg opening, you get the waist, you get the front rise, back rise, all of that stuff. If it's a top, you want to get the pit to pit, you want to get the front neck to the bottom, back neck to the bottom, sleeve, all of that. And based on those flat measurements that you took from that reference garment, the manufacturer will create a pattern that will produce a garment with the same size as that. Number 2, the materials. This is important too, because in the past, I've seen that when people don't speak specifically about what every single thing is supposed to be, manufacturers will wing it. So avoid winging it when it comes to materials. You want to know what each piece is going to be. Let's say, for instance, a varsity jacket. That could be comprised of a lot of different materials. The body could be made out of a smooth leather. Then you could have suede sleeves. Then you could have chenille patches on it. Then you could have knit ribbing. So every single one of those, you need to have identifiers saying that this piece is made out of this piece is that. I want silver hardware. I need the buttons to be this size. I need the buttons to be indented. I want it to not have buttons. I want it to be a zipper. Every single individual piece, that counts as materials. You're going to make a list of your materials that's going to say everything that this garment is comprised of, from the actual fabrics and everything to the hardware, all of it together. Those are your materials, and you want to clearly explain to them what this jacket is made of or what this garment is made of. So now on to number 3, which is mock-ups, not to be confused with tech packs. There's a difference between the two. So mock-ups, you could kind of think of it as a non-physical sample, basically. So mock-ups can come in a couple different ways. The way I do it is flat vector drawings. I do that through Adobe Illustrator. Another way is through 3D renders. That gives you a more 360 scope of the dimensions of the clothes and stuff like that. Popular program for that is Clothes 3D. And then the final way is a little bit more manual. Some people still use fashion sketches. Essentially the same thing, it's just hand drawn, all the details. The mock-up essentially reinforces all the other information such as the sizing and the materials. And once again, if you don't have the access or ability to do that, you can go hire people. Etsy has plenty of people that'll do it for you. Fiverr, all these places. And me too. But yeah, you can come to me for mock-ups. I just don't do tech packs. And the big number 4, that's going to be the reference photos. Now, this is, I keep saying every single thing is important. It is very important. Like, all of them together is what makes you communicate these ideas to the manufacturer well. But the reason reference photos are really good is because they, as in the manufacturer, understand clothes. So when you show them a final completed piece, they have a really clear vision of what you're looking for. But yeah, that's reference photos. That's pretty simple. You could do that one on your own. Just go either snap it yourself, or you could find pictures online, go to your favorite fashion website, screenshot, crop in on super specific details, and you compile it together to show to them. So now we've hit on our 4 main points. We got our measurements, we got our materials laid out, we got a mock-up from somebody or me. Then we got our reference photos. Now, the honorary 5th point that I said was the tech pack. The tech pack is your presentation. There are industry standards to it of like maybe the order you do it in or the specific details you show, but there's no one way to do it. When you look up tech packs, visually they're going to look all different kind of ways, but what matters is the information that's inside of them. Sometimes you may have to reconfigure your tech pack for the manufacturers that you're talking to. The tech pack is just a presentation of the information. As long as we're hitting on the measurements, those dimensions, hitting on the materials, and we have mock-ups to show them and reference photos, it doesn't necessarily matter how you put it together, but put it together in a way that the manufacturer can understand. And one resource for you is TechPacker.com. So this website makes it pretty easy to put a tech pack together. It essentially walks you through it and has a template. So if you already went and got the measurements from a tailor that you're working with, you went and figured out the materials on your own from Googling, you went and you got your mock-up, and you took your reference photos, TechPacker.com makes it easy to just drag and drop and transfer the information in there. And then at the end, it'll just export a tech pack for you, all nice and formatted the right way. And boom, we've made it to the end. We have our tech pack. Once you have that tech pack, you can roll around to all the different manufacturers and say, hey, I'm looking to make a sample. What's the details? Boom. These are the details for the thing that I would like to sample. And of course, we're going to continue on this manufacturing series. Hopefully it doesn't take 2 months like last time. But leave your questions down below, any kind of comments that you have for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.